I want to welcome Mike Gaskins from the El Toro Water District to the program. Welcome back, Mike.
Thank you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We want to talk about water quality.
That's a good topic.
That's a great place to start off. And since you're the director of the Water District, why don't you tell us the basic report on the water quality we have here in the village?
Right. Well, that was my kind of intent. And, water
How are we doing?
is such an important. I think El Toro is exceptional.
Right.
The people I work with and the staff we have are top of the heap completely. And even the guys you see out running around in the streets, checking on things, they're dedicated, hardworking, and they're all certified.
And you take it seriously because you're tasked with the water safety and providing the water, but water safety and making sure that we all have clean and good and reliable drinking water, right?
And among other things, yeah. Well, the irony of the whole water industry as a whole is we build all this infrastructure to capture and bring to you and deliver and give you water, make sure it's safe to drink, and then we tell you not to buy it. and then we have to figure out how to pay for it. Yeah.
Right.
But it's all a challenge, but the most important thing is the water quality by far. And so there are government standards for everything. Some items, the new PFOs, are measured in parts per trillion.
Okay.
Which is ridiculously small.
So what would you say is one of the biggest challenges that we have in this area in terms of keeping the water quality to the levels that it needs to be? Because we import a lot of our water, so we have multiple sources coming in. It's not like we're taking it from one spring or something like with other districts in the country may have an advantage there.
And it's cheaper that way.
Yeah, it certainly is, right?
It is. El Toro is completely dependent on imported water, and we get water from the Metropolitan Water District on the big side. We are in partnership on a treatment plant not too far from here with Irvine and Molten Nigel called the Baker Treatment Plant, and the water we deliver is treated either in Mission Viejo, but you've got the slides on the thing showing the pipes coming up, pumping up from Colorado, where the water flows by gravity almost all the way to Riverside from this. And then you've got the State Water Project. If you've driven up I-5, you've seen much of that. And go ahead.
How secure is our supply in terms of what you, as the district, are able to make sure you acquire and guarantee in contracts, or however that works in terms of, okay, this is 40% coming from here, and we are good for the next X amount of years?
Well, as you remember, we came out of a almost historic drought.
Right.
And last wet year saved us. And so there was actually an excess of water being dealt with in different places. Colorado River is still in deficit.
All right. But certainly Northern California.
But Northern California has got a lot of water, and the industry is looking for ways to capture and store that water. And so those are the projects that you're going to be seeing in the next few years, are storage projects. But when they get to us, the water normally has been treated before it enters in our system. And is treated with a chemical called chlorine, which you almost always hear bad things about. But I would argue that chlorine has done more to extend human lifespan than any other chemical because it prevents the spread of disease.
Right.
It's not trying to cure anything.
Right.
But it's going to prevent it.
And the reality of chlorine, from my understanding, is it dissipates. It literally goes away. That's why you have to keep adding chlorine to pools and things like that.
That's because it's so chemically active, so corrosive almost, and so it's a very good disinfectant, and it, like you said, it doesn't stay in the system.
Right.
So, but we have to monitor it. We send out every year to our customers a drink water quality report, and if you don't have one of these, you can stop by the district and pick one up, or you can go online and read it there. But it talks about all the chemicals that are in our water. Our lab doesn't do all the testing for some of the more exotic things and very low concentration things, but are required by federal government. But we get to 12,000 tests per year just in our lab. And we have 70 different sample locations. I always think our district looks like a brontosaurus with the neck going up to the right, up along
So
the
these are all the
Toro
sites where there's testings going on and making sure that
They're dedicated sample
points.
sites that are protected from vandalism or any kind of people messing with them. And they also give us continuity. And the water flows through the district in different pressure zones. And so these are designated to make sure we capture all the distribution areas. And we have staff out there.
Right. And so as a whole, you know what, one of the things I think is always interesting is that the bottled water industry has told us, like, you know, oh gosh, the health benefits of bottled water versus that. But as a whole, as a nation, we have probably one of the best water out of the tap quality in terms of that, you know, from anybody else in the world.
Absolutely true.
Is there any health risk to drinking water straight from the tap?
Absolutely not. And again, we test it more often than the bottled water. The bottled water is put in the bottle. And if you look at the cost, even just a regular bottled water budget, you know, is still costing almost as much as gasoline before gas went crazy. You know, and the only reason to drink bottled water is if you like the taste so much better. There's no health reason. There's nothing else that would be.
Right. There's nothing in their tap water that is bad or indifferent. They're good. They're one-for-one examples.
Because usually a large portion of our water comes from the Colorado River. We do get some depositions of minerals along your plumbing. You'll see that come up like that.
And that'll give that taste that some people say, oh, it tastes.
Well, a lot of people like our water, so anyways, but it's I always say it's just, you know, your own little piece of the Grand Canyon.
There you go. Well, Mike Gatskin's Water District Director, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being in today.
Well, thank you for having me and having us. And here behind me, in this little corner down there, right over there, is our water reclamation plant.
That's where you're headed back to maybe today. All right.